Hey, thanks for stopping by Minnesota Black Robe Regiment channel. Make sure you are subscribed and that you're checking out the bell icon that's down there. And then after that, like, share, comment. As I say all the time, I love comments. Positive, negative, critical thinking skills applied to what I'm talking about are appreciated. I don't need everybody to agree with me. I just want people to think. And if you have a logical approach to what I'm saying that you can engage with me on, we're going to get along well. Even if you don't like me, I can still get along with you. What do I want to talk about in this video? I'm going to preface that with saying I am a veteran of the United States military. I spent several years on active duty. I did nothing special, did nothing grand. I was a communication security specialist, if you will. It's kind of the terminology that you could use to describe what I did. I was in the Signal Corps. I was attached to or assigned when I was in Germany. I was attached to an MP unit. I wasn't special. I wasn't anybody. I wasn't a hero for being in the military. I joined during the first Gulf War. Some of it out of a desire to rub it in the nose of all of the lefties that I was attending college with at the University of Montana. And that's where I watched flag burning in person for the first time. I watched people, literally guys and gals, pee on the American flag at the courthouse in Missoula, Montana. And a few of the girls, we called them the granolas, literally would drop their pants and squat and pee on the American flag at the courthouse in Missoula. I saw this on numerous occasions as I was waiting to go. And that was kind of the impetus for why I joined the Army. Once again, I was nobody special. I was in pretty good shape. I was a runner. Went to jump school. Did well in AIT. Had good scores. Had really good scores when I took the defense language aptitude battery. Got offered an opportunity to go to the defense language school. Would have had to sign a contract extension. Wasn't willing to do that at the time. I wish I had now. Thought, hindsight being what it is, having had time to think about it, that would have been, boy, that would have been a great career move. But I didn't. So ended up in Germany for a while, came back to the States, ended up at Fort Bragg with the 82nd Airborne Division, assigned to the 82nd Signal Battalion. Once again, wasn't an anybody, didn't do anything meritorious, didn't do anything notable. I just did my job and went about my daily life. And that was me. Communication specialist with a combat lifesaver training, and jumped out of airplanes for a living. So all of that to preface what we're about to do. When I joined the Army, it was not be an army of one. It wasn't a social proving ground per se. It was a place where you molded into a fighting team. The Army's recruitment motto had been, at the time that I joined, had been for quite a long time, be all that you can be. And then it got changed to be an army of one. You can't be an army of one in the military. It's impossible. And you achieve more when you do it as a team in the military. I don't care if you're in the Army. I don't care if it's Air Force. I don't care if it's Marines. I don't care if it's the Navy. And to all my Marine friends out there, you really do need to be on a team. You guys can't do anything by yourselves. Love you. and my Air Force buddy out there, John, you know who I'm talking about. I mean, I don't know how often you're going to ride a exercise bike into combat, but whatever. I don't. So anyway, I bring all of that up to talk about what has become the social proving grounds of the United States military today, the social cultural proving grounds of the United States military today. There was a day when the military didn't care ultimately what your background was. They didn't, not that there weren't, you know, to get certain security clearances, you had to pass a background check. I had a pretty decent security clearance in the military. I worked with high-end communications equipment. I helped field SINGAR radios when they first came out. Those were incredibly top of the line, top secret type materials. I carried security code generation equipment. I could be trusted. But they didn't care about my family life. They didn't care about my background. They didn't care about my political views. Ultimately, it didn't matter to them. What they cared about was, could I be part of a fighting team? And now, having watched my channel, if you've watched, you'd be like, what, this guy was in the military, he took orders. I'm like, yeah, I can take orders when it's related to my job. When it's related to what I'm supposed to be doing, I can take orders. You don't have to be an independent thinking, self-motivated, self-reliant individual, and therefore you could never be part of a team that takes orders. That's just, that'd be fallacious. Okay. But I learned how to follow orders, and it's ultimately kind of where I learned a lot of value in the United States as it is, as a republic. Was it meant something to me at that time when I took that oath, that when I'm following a lawful order that's given to me in the realm of the work that I'm doing in the military, it meant like, you do this. And you have to be aware of what it means to take and follow a lawful order. And that's what the military used to care about, but that's not what the United States military cares about anymore. Now we have the Department of Defense and the heads, the chief muckety mucks, the civilian and the commissioned officers, saying things like, we're going to be taking on this war against climate change. What is the military's role in the war on climate change? And it's also, what we're seeing is that the military has now become a social justice proving ground. Now, I'm going to juxtapose something here for you. We're going to take a look at this together. This is a video put together by Censored News Now, and thank you so much for them for doing this. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at army or military recruitment ads for China, Russia, and then the Republic of the United States. And I'll probably stop as we go through this. This is a little over 5 minutes long, but it's fundamentally very important for us to understand what we're watching here, what we're seeing here. This is incredibly important for us. We have, you have to see this to understand why our country is headed in the direction it's headed.
一声道，是一场冲锋。我们用生命扛起使命，我们用忠诚筑起长城。改革强军，征途如虹。
历史告诉我们，改革创新与时俱进，使人民军队不断发展的康庄大道。人民军队的力量来自改革创新，人民军队的胜利来自改革创新。
祖国召唤，我必到。一声道，一声道。
I don't care who you are. That was motivational. And it was all about war. Okay? That was it. It was take pride in your country. Now, do I agree with the Communist Party of Russia, of China? No. Do I see China as our predominant external threat? Absolutely. You want to know why, if there's a war with China, we are going to be in trouble? It's that video that you just saw, that says everything you need to know about China's recruitment. They want hardcore soldiers and airmen and Marines and sailors. They want people that are willing to go to war. They want people who are willing to go in and be trained how to fight. And it's got nothing to do with their personal thoughts and feelings on things, and it's got everything to do with come and serve your country. Now, there again, don't hear this as to be a true patriot, you got to set aside everything. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is watch that. If that didn't give you goosebumps, watching a Chinese recruitment commercial for their military, I don't, because it stirs in men especially a desire to stand up and do what they need to do to protect their country and forward the ideals of their nation. That was motivational. Now we're going to look at Russia.
Первый день твоей новой жизни. То, что было вчера, не имеет значения. Каким ты был прежде, уже никого не волнует. Теперь важно то, кем ты будешь сегодня. Что ты знаешь о себе? На что ты способен? Вопросы могут остаться без ответов, но разве ты сможешь потом спокойно спать? Познать себя, познать границы своих возможностей. К черту границы. Ты готов ломать себя до изнеможения. Каждый день здесь боль закаляет. Шрамы, повседневность. Это ты решил себе что-то доказать. Командир здесь только для того, чтобы ты мог увидеть в нем врага. Потому что без врага нет боя, а без боя нет победы. Но на самом деле главный враг — это ты. Вчерашний ты. Твоя задача — выследить врага, догнать его, превзойти, стать лучше, чем он, и вернуться назад победителем. Потому что завтра первый день твоей новой жизни.
Again, soldiering. It's about killing for your country. We don't care about your personal thoughts and feelings about all the different things going on in the world. Come and be molded into a fighting force that can fight for and do destruction for your nation. Again, I didn't understand a word of what they were saying, but man, I was motivated because war, especially military action, appeals to the masculine side of people. It appeals to men. It has to. Because men are the ones that are intended to be the warriors. Don't care if you like it or not. You can scream at me all your third wave feminazi jargon and agitprop crap, men are intended to be the soldiers and men are intended to fight. And we don't need all the baggage and the crap that comes with social, cultural pressures. But what do we have now for a recruitment ad? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Like this. Watch this. Animation, cartoons to appeal to people. A cartoon.
This is the story of a soldier who operates your nation's Patriot missile defense systems. It begins in California with a little girl raised by two moms.
Who cares? If this is what we need to do to appeal to people so that we can get them to join the military, we've already lost. I don't care who your mom is. I don't care who your daddy is. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care if you have two moms. I don't care if you have 14 dads. Who cares? And why a cartoon?
Although I had a fairly typical...
You know why we're using cartoons? Because we're raising generations of immature people. They're not adults anymore. They don't reach adulthood until they're their 40s. We're using cartoons to recruit people who should be adults because we've trained them to be dependent little children. And so we have to use something that they can relate to, which is a cartoon. You think the Chinese are recruiting their people with cartoons? Do you think the Russians are recruiting people with cartoons? No, if somebody said, well, I'm not joining the Russian army unless you can recruit me with a cartoon, they would slap him around. But no, we got to get a cartoon that's full of social justice warrior garbage. These aren't warriors. They're social justice warriors, but they're not warriors. I do not want to go to war with this lady.
Through childhood, took ballet, played violin. I also marched for equality.
Great.
I'd like to think I've been defending
I'd like to think I've been defending liberty, I think she says, or freedom or equality or whatever. Good. Hard fought, hard charging, hardened men have bloodied their hands and given up their lives so you could do that. And I'm all for you being able to do that. What does this matter to going to war?
freedom from an early age. When I was 6 years old, one of my moms had an accident that left her paralyzed.
I'm sorry that happened to one of your moms, but I don't care. I don't care. There's no bearing on whether or not you could be a good soldier.
Doctor said she might never walk again, but she tapped into my family's pride to get back on her feet, eventually standing at the altar to marry my other mom.
Again, I don't care. I'm not talking about this from a conservative Christian perspective. I'm not talking about this from strictly a biblical perspective. I'm just talking about this from a, what does that have to do with whether or not you could pick my wounded butt up and carry me out of a battle zone when my leg's half blowing off, you morons? This is meant to stroke the egos of the immature children that we are trying to recruit to join the military. We're appealing to them on an individual basis of, what do you care about, Bobby and Susie? Do you want to see a cartoon to join the army? What? No. And it gets worse.
Such powerful role models, I finished high school at the top of my class, and then attended UC Davis, where I joined a sorority full of other strong women. But as graduation...
Feminist mystique here.
Feeling like I'd been handed so much in life, a sorority girl stereotype. Sure, I'd spent my life around inspiring women, but what had I really achieved on my own? One of my sorority sisters was studying about.
Notice that. What have I achieved on my own? Now, that's going to be your impetus for joining the military. And you don't join the military because of what you achieve on your own. You join the military to become part of a fighting force and you achieve things together. But not in our military today, because you get to go and be an army of one.
Abroad in Italy. Another was climbing Mount Everest. I needed my own adventures. My
All
own
about her.
challenge.
It's all about her.
And after meeting with an army recruiter, I found it. A way to prove my inner strength and maybe shatter some stereotypes along the way. I'm U.S. Army Corporal Emma Malone Lord, and I answered my calling.
Okay, I got fired up, and I'm gonna stay fired up. That kind of recruitment crap it's crap. There's no room in a fighting force for that kind of mentality. Okay, I don't care who your daddy and mama sleep with. I don't care if your mama sleeps with your mama and your daddy sleeps with your daddy. I don't care. Like, ultimately, when it comes time for other soldiers, Marines and airmen and seamen to put their lives on the line, who your parents are married to doesn't matter. It doesn't prepare you for war. Your feeling of inadequacy of having accomplished something on your own, so now you need to go accomplish something on your own, so you're going to join the military. I do not want you beside me in a foxhole if you're there to accomplish something on your own. That's a precursor of a wannabe hero mentality, which is going to get people around you killed. And you are not ready to fight. You are not ready to fight a war. Period. End of discussion. You are not ready for that. You are ill prepared. But we have allowed the leftist Marxists of this nation to get so fundamentally in control of everything that now we're teaching that mentality to our kids in our government indoctrination centers, and you call them public schools. Get them out, by the way. It has so permeated our culture that now we do not want manly, rugged men who are ready to do harm to other human beings in defense of their nation, in defense of the American ideology, the patriotic, constitutionally minded ideology. We now want soft people who are in it for themselves, and that is going to get people killed. It is going to be the downfall of our military, and it is going to be the downfall of this country if we do not reverse course very soon. This is illness. This is a demonstration of the sickness that has permeated not just our schools and our higher institutions of learning. This is an example of how ill our military has become. These people are not safe. Your social justice warrior agenda has no place in the military. None at all. And if there should be one place that we should be getting rid of it, it's the military. The military should be a safe haven for people to not have to think about that stuff, to not have that foisted on them, to not have it used as a recruiting tool. That's what that entire ad was. That entire ad was a recruiting tool for social justice warriors who are going to go into the military and turn it into a panty-waisted, effeminate group of people who are going to get their collective asses handed to them when we finally come to war again, and it is coming. War is not a video game. War is not anime. War is not a cartoon. War is real, and blood is red, and people's legs and their guts get blown out on the battlefield, and these people are unprepared for it because we recruit them like this. And now, because of this kind of garbage, people who are patriotic, people who are constitutionally minded, like Trump or not, people who supported Trump are now being told that there's no place for them in the military anymore. We have to make room for pansies like Emma and beta males who are just like her, who want to tell their story. This has got to stop. The problem is it's calculated. The powers that be, the co-presidents of Biden and Harris and their handlers, their puppet masters, the people that are moving them towards this are not interested in a military that is strong. They're interested in a military that is culturally and politically correct according to the norms of our society today. And that should terrify you as Americans. I don't care if you like this video. I don't care if you think I'm being culturally insensitive. I don't care if you think I'm being socially insensitive. I'm telling you, as a veteran who trained to fight, there were people that I would not want to have had in a foxhole with me. And there were probably times there were people next to me who didn't want me in a foxhole next to them. But I'll tell you what, I was ready to die for the person next to me. Sometimes I was ready to beat the crap out of the person next to me, but if somebody from somewhere else had tried to hurt them, I would have killed for them. Because I knew I was fighting for my team. I was fighting for my country. I did not join the military for myself. I joined when our country was going to war so I could go to war for our country. Whether it was a good war or not doesn't matter. I was going to go to war for my country and die for it if need be. And I cared about the people around me. It wasn't an ego-stroking, self-centered pride fest like we see today. And you can call me unhinged. You can say I'm losing my mind, but this kind of recruitment has got to stop. And it's this kind of stuff that has me telling people right now, do not let your men, your men, not your boys, do not let your men join the military. You will lose them. They will either go to war and die because they're surrounded by pansies who do not know how to fight and do not know how to think of other people, or they will be imprisoned because if you have raised them right, they will not think the right thoughts, according to the social justice warrior movement that has now taken over recruiting in the United States military, and it has permeated into the command ranks of the United States military. And they are drumming people who think wrong thoughts out, and they're criminalizing them. People who have the Gadsden flag in the army are being considered right-wing radicals, and they're being disciplined out for that. You don't have to like my opinions, and these are strictly my opinions, but they're opinions of a veteran. And that has far more weight than who Emma's parents were and her personal motivations for joining the army so that she could achieve something on her own. Emma, whatever you accomplished in the army, you didn't achieve it on your own. You self-centered little twerp. And the fact that they're using that as a recruitment ad should piss every veteran off. We are going to lose this country if it comes to a hot war. If there's fighting, we're done. We're done. And that's why we have to resist this kind of social justice warrior tyranny. Until next time, don't worry about being safe. Worry about living free. Sic semper, Tyrannus.